Hello everyone, I'm Yubar Reingok, and welcome to another Yubar Talks. This is where I play a game in the background so you don't get bored while I talk about something on my mind. And today we've got Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege in the background because I honestly didn't know what to do with some of this recorded stuff. So it's going here. So on to our topic. Are corporate heads ruining entertainment? Let's not kid ourselves. We all have a general idea of what a corporate asshole, because we do see them as such, looks and acts like. They are, like I said, assholes. Self-conceited, bigoted pricks who only want you to give them all your money for whatever crappy product they put out. Now, yes, that is true, but not about every corporate bigwig. For example, look at Bill Gates. The man doesn't want his kids to leech off of the money he made alive. So when he dies, he's left them a very small amount, wanting them instead to find their own ways like he did. And honestly, that is just good parenting right there. Not to mention that the vast majority of his wealth will actually be given to charity when he dies. He's not trying to build a dynasty. He's made a product that everyone uses, and he just wants it to be, for it to continue to be, well, what helps us do what we need, like he did when he first started out making this. But Bill Gates is just one out there example of someone who hasn't let greed totally corrupt their way of thinking. That's not to say it hasn't had some function on his thinking, but it hasn't corrupted him like you would think it would most. And he isn't technically in the entertainment industry. Yes, his company does own Xbox, but he isn't directly in charge of it. I mean, yeah, he owns it, but you get what I'm saying. Someone else handles all the Xbox-related stuff. Not Bill Gates, not directly. But that leads me to this. Is this greed we assume old corporate heads have the reason why so much crap gets produced? And what I mean by that is, are these guys in charge of these corporations who oversee a lot of projects, why they become so crappy? Let's look at a good example. The Matrix. The first movie is still a good movie. While I know the Wachowskis catch a lot of crap for the trilogy as well as, well, all their other films, The Matrix might be the only exception in my eye. See, when The Matrix was being made, the Wachowskis had a few other ideas for what the humans were used for, as well as how the machines were powered, completely different to what we got. And these weren't happy-go-lucky themes either. These were actually a bit disturbing if the rumors I've heard are anything to be believed. I mean, there's a couple things out there that you can find where it says what their ideas might have been, but I haven't seen anything definite yet. But as it's been known for some time now, the guys overseeing the project, aka the corporation of 20th Century Fox, thought it was too much info and just too much altogether for audiences to handle. So they had the Wachowskis change it to the humans being the power source and left it at that. So the Wachowskis actually didn't come up with that. It was forced on their story by the corporation overseeing production. So us giving the Wachowskis crap about how that is scientifically impossible should actually be aimed at the idiots above them who told them to put it in. What was supposed to be one movie, the corporation had them turn into a trilogy. And let's face it, despite that, The Matrix was a cool movie. But here again, corporate got greedy. What was supposed to be one movie, the corporation had them turn into a trilogy. Again, the Wachowskis weren't planning to, but the corporation got involved, and we all know what happened from there. And this isn't the only example of a good movie turned horrible trilogy. Remember Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire? The first movie was great, but again, corporate wanted a trilogy after its success, and the movies as a whole came out sounding like whiny emo bullshit. And from what I hear, Marvel actually wasn't on board with the sequels, but they couldn't turn them down either due to a contract signed with a producing company who was funding the whole thing anyways, so they just went with it. And I, of course, could point out the X-Men movies too, but I feel like they were already being thought of by those who were watching this. But that doesn't mean all sequels are going to be bad. Most of this was during a time where everything had to have a sequel or a trilogy because of this idiocy. All anyone remembers from this time is the crappy movies we got. But again, not all are bad. Look at Toy Story. While the second movie isn't as good as the first, it's still a good movie by its own rights. And we all love the third movie. Then there's Men in Black. While the second wasn't nearly as good as the first, we all love the third movie. No one can deny that the third movie kicked ass and was the surprise sequel we didn't even know we wanted. But the best example to give has to be How to Train Your Dragon, where the sequel, in my own opinion, is even better than the original. Yeah, how's that for a flip? The sequel was better than the original. While I still love the first movie, I think the second just did so much more for the story and the characters. But I can't deny that it's mostly due to, well, having watched the first. I love the first, and I do think that may have fed into my even greater love of the second movie. But that said, it still has some really sincere parts the first movie didn't have. Not to mention, spoiler! A major character death, and just all the emotions that movie brings. You can't really top it. And how many movies can you say where you think the second movie is better than the first? I can't. Though I will say that anything Pixar and DreamWorks puts out is amazing. And at the very least, the sequels are as good as the original films. Even Kung Fu Panda. And yeah, I do think Jack Black is perfect for his role in that film. But this is just one part of the entertainment industry. What about the other? Video games. Well, we see where corporate gets involved here, it does ruin games as well. Most notably, Electronic Arts or EA. EA, fuck you, give us money, I'm to your dollar bills, bitch. Most obviously, to Call of Duty and DICE produced games. Prior to Black Ops 3, the previously Call of Duty games flopped, and I'm talking long term here. Sure, people got them when they first came out, but they were so one-target demographic that by the time the next Call of Duty came out, the servers were basically dead for that current game. So what changed between the new Black Ops 3 and prior games? The corporation of EA. EA Games! It's in the microtransactions! Want this cool gun skin for just one of your guns? Give us $5. Hell yeah! Now you're awesome! Started coming in and saying what they wanted so as to have the games come out faster so they could get their money faster. And as a result, the games lean more heavily towards one type of player, the Twitch shooter. I know all FPS games, first-person shooters, have this, but Call of Duty basically became their call to, which was the wrong move. Why? Because not everybody is like that. Not everybody runs and guns. Some people snipe or sit still. Some people like to use tech to do most of their work. And those three games punish players like that. You a casual gamer? Well, don't play these games. If you don't keep up, you'll get wrecked. Which is why Modern Warfare 2 and 3 still get so much love from the fans. Even I still like them. And I hate Call of Duty. But they were games where even players who weren't the best could do well. A few lucky kills and you could call in something to help you change your luck and get on the board. It didn't take from the players, but it gave all types of fighting chance. Even if you were having a bad game, one care package later and your luck could turn for the better. And that's because it was point-based rewards. You could kill jack shit a game, but as long as you were getting points, you could get something to help you and your team. And that's where it really changed. And from what I've heard, that's why Black Ops 3 is doing better than its predecessors, because it's gone back to doing that and is more player-friendly to all. Instead of you need kills to call in anything or wherever, or whatever it is we were trying to do here, we don't really know anymore. It's play and have fun. Maybe get a care package, turn some things around for yourself, get something cool, have fun. It's more player-friendly to all types, not just one now. But why is that? Because EA backed off the studios developing and finally gave them more room to make the calls they want, and this was the result, them getting back on track. That's why Black Ops 3 is still doing decently. Now, yes, it's not as good as Modern Warfare was, but it's getting back up there, which is a good sign. But that's one game franchise. Now we head to EA's current sit-in, DICE. Developer DICE is known for Battlefield, and anyone who knows Battlefield at least knows how hardcore devoted its players are, and I count myself among them, for now. DICE's two recent failures have me backing off as well. What two am I talking about? Battlefield Hardline and Star Wars Battlefront EA. EA, our name is on that shit! See it? You know it's ours! Pay us money! Both of these games have come to be total flops by the company. I mean, for fuck's sake, DICE abandoned, let me say it again, abandoned Battlefield Hardline to the other company who helped make it. Totally abandoned it and left it on their shoulders, and instead returned to working on Battlefield 4. This was because DICE knew, for a long time as well, that its fans hated Hardline, and the numbers showed it. I'm not just talking about the amount of returns in the 6 months following its release, I'm talking about the players' numbers. How many were playing Battlefield 4 to Battlefield Hardline 6 months after Hardline's release? And let me tell you, it was staggering. Just in the first month, Battlefield 4 still had better numbers than Hardline. And by the end of the 6 months, Hardline didn't even have a fourth of the players that Battlefield 4 had. And Battlefield 4 maintained. Didn't go lower, it maintained. In fact, in some months, it did better. Now, Battlefront is falling even faster than Hardline did, if you can believe it. I know, amazing. Oh my god, Battlefront's failing? Oh no. Didn't see that one coming. Sorry. They saw more returns in the first month than Hardline did in 2. That says something. Now, it's already being reported that the third installment, feel free to pause and laugh at this. I did when I first heard it. It's fucking hilarious that this was even a thought. It's being reported that the third installment of Battlefront, you heard me, third, not second, third, we're already up to the third, has been scrapped. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead, pause the video and laugh. That they already decided the third was coming out, but then after this, they scrapped it. That's how bad. Oh, fucking EA. And the second installment, you know, the sequel to what we have right now, isn't far behind. In fact, the only reason why Battlefront 2 isn't scrapped yet, Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. We are EA. We own you. We own your soul. We are not evil. Buy more of our shit. The only reason it isn't scrapped yet is, why else? Because EA is still sitting on DICE about this. EA Games. We aren't evil, but we also don't give a fuck what you think. Give us your money and shut the fuck up. However, DICE is developing Battlefield 5, and they are still rolling out updates for Battlefield 4. In fact, even during production and after the release of Battlefront, they were pushing out updates for Battlefield 4. Even during then, they didn't stop pushing out the updates for Battlefield 4. And kudos to DICE for basically knowing what was going on and what was going to happen and trying to keep us hardcores around despite it. I mean, it's likely they knew Battlefront would be a failure, but instead of going full bore at it, they actually read the numbers and kept on with Battlefield 4 because they actually care. Despite EA writing them like a, well, for lack of a better terminology here, a bitch in heat. And to that I say kudos, DICE. Here's hoping Battlefield 5 gets all of us back on board with you. I still won't pre-order though, not while fucking EA is hanging in the background, possibly influencing the game. But I do hope it's a return to form for you guys. I really do. Because after your last two flops, I am hanging on by a thread here. Don't fuck up. So these are examples of the bad. But what about the good? Well, here I can only find one. I mean, yes, there are plenty of others. But I can only find one that really showed when corporation wasn't involved what could happen. And I mean like really good example here. And it is in Final Fantasy XIV. I'll talk about that in another video. It's going to take a whole other video to get that one out. It's a clusterfuck and a half, but just go with me here. No, it's actually Naughty Dog. Those of us born in the 90s may remember them more for their hilariously fun games like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Jak and Daxter. But those more current might remember them for a whole different game that really gets a lot of critical hype and, to be honest, deserves it. And it's still regarded as the best game of 2014 and might still be the best re-release of 2015? I'm not sure. But you all know which one I'm talking about. The Last of Us. I cannot do this game justice in this talk. I'm actually looking at making a couple of videos of it without me talking, and then meshing them together into a movie sort of deal. Why? Because that's how awesome this game is, that I would even think of doing something this stupid and crazy. To say anything at all about the story may as well be spoiling it for those who haven't played, because it's just that. But it is one of the very best games I've played in so many years. And here's the real kicker. They did this game at their own pace because why? No corporation pushing down on them to get it out there faster. And what turned out was something that deserves the titles of Best Game of 2014, Best Possible Release of 2015. I mean, it's a game to really marvel at. It was very story-based driven. It was very character-driven. You cannot look at this game and say it didn't deserve those. And without corporate pushing down on them, you see what came out. It's amazing. And I still recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it. But really, this is all I can say about this game without ruining it for players who are wanting to play it and haven't seen the videos. They just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. So I'm literally holding back just for those people's sakes because they deserve that. They really do. So, do corporations ruin entertainment because of their greed or whatever? Yes! Absolutely they do! If you look at movies, television, and even video games, when a corporation gets directly involved in something, it ruins what was or could have been something amazing. There's even been comedies of it, done by Family Guy, Simpson. I mean, all these different people who basically point out that yes, when corporate gets involved, some bullshit happens, and they make fun of that. And they're right to. But if the writers, directors, actors, and developers are left alone, what we get instead is nothing short of incredible, or just downright fun. And there's so many examples I could give for television, for movies, where you see where these people, they didn't have the corporations breathing down their necks. They were given the space they needed to do what they wanted. And what we got as a result of that was amazing. Sons of Anarchy. Oh God, what was that one show? It was all a while ago. It just ended last year. Hell on Wheels is another example. Not that one. It's not over yet. I was thinking of something else. There's so many examples I could give of where people left to their own devices turn out great things. Now, yes, these guys are funding the projects we love to watch or play, these corporations. But that should be the extent of what they do, really. Them trying to get directly involved or putting pressure on the people making whatever it is they are making just ends up doing more harm than good. And we've seen that time and time again. These shows that look like they could be good, but corporate got involved. And I mean, look at Firefly. That's all I need to say. Firefly, I think, is an amazing show, and many will agree with me. But corporation didn't think the numbers were good, so they pulled it. Now, the guy who played the main character has already moved over to Castle. They can't get him back. I guarantee if he was free, we'd already have Firefly Season 2 or 6 now. That's how unbelievable that show is. But they fucked up and now he's on Castle. I haven't watched Castle. I'm not going to watch Castle. But that's a serious fuck up on their part. Or they thought that because... And look, Family Guy 2 got canceled. But now it's one of the top rated animated shows in America. I mean, come on. You can see when corporations, they fuck up. They do. Think about that. So when corporations get involved, it just does more harm. And it's a lesson we've seen time and time again. Only when they step back and let it be and let us do... I mean, when they let us be, we see some downright amazing things happen. And there is no better example for this that I can think of to end this talk on than the best example where a corporation fucked up or was stupid, but something great still happened. And that is with the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Now, if you've seen the Nostalgia Critic review on this, you already know what I'm talking about because he basically says it in there the same way I'm going to say it here. While some view this as a strange little special, others love it, and I do include myself among those who love it. But did you know that the guys backing it actually hated it? Yeah, they did. They totally hated it. They thought it was going to be terrible, that nobody was going to like it. The only reason it even aired is because they basically were like, well, we already paid for it. Now, it's a holiday classic we enjoy every year and share with our kids so they can learn the joy of it. My parents did the same thing with me. And when I have kids, I'll do the same thing with them. I mean, we even have the piano theme from the show playing in stores during Christmas holidays because that's how popular the special is, and that's what it's most associated with. Not the show in itself, just the special. It just goes to show that the executives up top really don't get what people want, but the ones down below them obviously do. Not to say the special was like that and those who wrote it must have known. Of course, but for a lot of things coming out these days, especially games, the people who actually make them have a better understanding than some executive who sits in an office all day telling them how to do their jobs better than they're already doing them, when they're already doing them well. You get my point. So it remains seen that the ones making the things we love know more about what we want to see. What we want to see from these people we love seeing things from these developers, from these writers and screenplays. They know more than the corporations feeding off of their successes. Thank you all for watching another episode of Yubar Talks. If you want to see more of these or anything else I do, feel free to click the big red subscribe button down below. If you want to see anything else I've done in the past, feel free to visit my channel and watch my videos or any of my playlists. Want to let me know you enjoyed the video? Leave a like and feel free to leave a comment as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out!
Alright. Kill him.
Holy shit! Oh my god! I went fucking rogue agent on this bitch! Oh my god!
Come on, let's get you out of here.
Crane, save these people.